Former Republican House Speaker Newt Gingrich was one of Donald Trump's most outspoken surrogates in the presidential election and continues to be a strong supporter. He's also the co-author of a new thriller novel out today called Vengeance. Speaker Gingrich, welcome.
Good to be with you.
So what is going on here? I mean, when you have a leading Republican chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee and the president is lashing out against him when he needs his vote in the Senate.
Well, look, I think they'd be a lot better off to get together for lunch and get over it. Trump automatically hits back at anybody. I mean, it's an instinctive, goes back to his New York days, and it seems to be virtually uncontrollable. And he thought that Corker had said something that had offended him, so he hit Corker. So Corker, who's now liberated, hit him back. I think it's not helpful to the country. It's not helpful to the Republican Party. But I also think you see Bannon on the right, and you see the people, for example, opposing Senator Feinstein on the left. And you have this growing factionalization on both sides that I think is sort of the era we're in right now. So you have Antifa and all these left-wingers over here, and you have right-wingers over here. And none of them are happy with the world as it is, so they yell about it.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about how this might imperil, though, the Republican agenda. We're a week away from a budget vote that is crucial in terms of the president's attempts to get tax reform done. How does angering members of your own party help that effort?
It doesn't. I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here. I think Trump is a remarkable figure. I think he's a historic figure. He's certainly probably the biggest change agent since Andrew Jackson in the 1820s and 1830s. But I do think there are things he doesn't understand about the American system. And Bannon has the same problem. We don't have a parliamentary system. We don't all get elected to march in lockstep. House members win, Senate members win, presidents win, and they got to learn to work together. And that's been probably the biggest weakness, has been not finding a way to work together. And the truth is, the president will not get his major things done without Bob Corker.
Do you believe what Corker said, that it could be leading towards World War III, this kind of behavior that the president reflects in the rhetoric he uses?
Look, I think we are in an extraordinarily dangerous time. I think if you look at North Korea, which has rejected Bill Clinton, rejected George W. Bush, rejected Barack Obama, we've had over almost 30 years now the North Koreans cheerfully saying we're going to build nuclear weapons that can reach the U.S. and we're going to build missiles that can reach the U.S. That's not Donald Trump. That is the culmination of 3 decades of failed policy. That's part of what Vengeance, my new novel's about, is terrorists selling 2 super tankers of oil to the North Koreans for nuclear material, which is not a weapon, but material, which they can then use to create dirty bombs for the U.S. I mean, we need to understand we have enemies across the planet. It's not a vertical. It's not U.S., North Korea. It's U.S. and a range of enemies who would destroy us.
Can anybody rein in the president?
No. I mean, the president has to rein himself in.
Okay.
Well, what are the implications for the Republican Party here if there is not a single legislative victory at a time when Republicans control all 3 branches of government?
As a guy who used to come by and tell you that I thought Donald Trump would win, they're going to get a tax cut. They're going to get a tax cut because the country wants a tax cut. The country needs a tax cut.
Not tax reform, a tax cut.
Yeah, what matters is a tax cut. I mean, it can come through tax reform, but what really matters is people will have more money in their pocket. I carry around the Paul Ryan postcard size.
You really do carry it.
I really do carry it because I think this is what Republicans ought to do. Talk less about each other, more about tax cuts. We'll be a lot better party.
But doesn't picking a fight with Bob Corker have implications as far as that tax reform?
Of course it does. That's why I hope the 2 of them will have lunch, get over it. I'm not sure Corker golfs, so that technique won't work. But have lunch, get over it, and let's move on and help the country.
Steve Bannon told me that you were offered a number of jobs in the White House when the president was going through his transition period. What jobs did you turn down?
Well, I didn't turn down any specific job. The president said, what did I want? He had just decided I would not be vice president, which I always knew was going to happen. But he used me to sort of keep you guys busy while he was picking Mike Pence, who I think is doing a great job as vice president. And I said to him, I want to be a strategic advisor. So I'm working with the vice president on space. I've worked a lot with the national security people on for example, the Iranian agreement. And I've worked a lot on health. I'm working on as you can tell, I'm working on the tax cuts.
And you agree that we should withdraw from?
Absolutely. I don't see how you. I don't see how you.
I'm not asking about decertification. I'm asking him, does he think we should withdraw? Trump is suggesting.
Well,
Not about
I don't think
certification has only to do with the Congress, has nothing to do with the.
No, I don't think you can say what the president has said in judgment on the Iranians and then turn around and pretend you're going to be in the Obama tradition of I didn't really mean it. So I should say, by the way, one person who did say yes was my wife, who is up to be the ambassador to the Vatican. And that's why she can't be here to talk about Alice the Elephant, her 7th book, by the way.
Yeah, this is your 32nd book, Mr. Speaker?
Something like that, 32nd, yeah. It's a
prolific.
Mostly nonfiction, but we've really enjoyed creating. Actually, you'd like her. Brooke Grant is a Marine major, and she is our central figure. We also have a woman from Mossad, and we have a Saudi, and something which is really happening in the Middle East. We have the Saudi and the Israeli working together to try to stop the terrorists.
Maybe they'll read it in the White House.
Yeah.
Speaker Gingrich, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here.